If you've ever been called too intense, too quiet, or too complicated to understand, this message is for you. You might be one of the chosen ones, a soul set apart, designed to walk a path that's anything but ordinary. But with that divine assignment comes a cost: emotional isolation, misunderstood motives, and complicated relationships. It's not that you're unlovable. It's just that you're not easy to access because your soul was built with layers most people can't comprehend. The truth is, chosen ones often experience deep loneliness in a world that was never designed to fully embrace them. Friends fall away, lovers leave, family misreads you. But this isn't punishment, it's preparation. We'll dive deep into 8 powerful reasons why chosen ones are the most difficult people to love or make friends with, and why this spiritual reality is part of your divine. If this message already resonates with your spirit, if you felt like no one ever really sees the real you, or if you've been called too much your whole life, pause for a second and type 111 in the comments section right now. That's your sign that this truth found you at the perfect time. That's your way of saying, I hear you and I receive the clarity I need. And before we continue, make sure to subscribe to this channel. We're building a soul tribe of awakened, spiritually aligned individuals who refuse to settle for surface-level thinking. Now, let's go deep. 1. Chosen ones feel everything on a deeper level. You are not just an emotional person. You are spiritually wired to feel in a way that most people can't begin to comprehend. When others walk through life with a thick, emotional armor, you walk barefoot through the fire of human experience, open, raw, and receptive to everything around you. You don't just hear someone's words. You feel the frequency behind them. A single glance from a stranger, a shift in someone's tone, or even the silence between conversations. These things speak volumes to you. You don't need explanations. Your soul understands what others bury beneath the surface. That's not weakness. That's your superpower. But because of this sensitivity, you often find yourself misunderstood. People who operate on a surface level can't handle the intensity of your emotional depth. They misread your silence as withdrawal. Your empathy is overreaction and your insights is too much to handle. Most people are comfortable with shallow conversations, small talk about the weather or the latest gossip. You, on the other hand, are drawn to the marrow of the human experience. You want to talk about what haunts people, what sets their soul on fire, what makes them believe in miracles again. You want to speak the language of the soul, but so many people have forgotten how to speak it, or worse, never learned. And so you walk this path, often alone, with a heart full of emotion, and a spirit longing for a connection that can meet you where you are. 2. Your standards are spiritually elevated. You don't settle not because you think you're better than others, but because you honor yourself on a soul level. You have tasted the ache of betrayal, the emptiness of superficiality, and the pain of compromising your spirit. And now you know what you deserve. You seek love that's rooted in truth, friendships that feel like home, conversations that heal, not harm. You're not interested in connections built on ego, performance, or convenience. You crave alignment, divine, sacred alignment. But that level of discernment intimidates people. They call you picky, difficult, or say your standards are too high. They want you to lower the bar so they can feel comfortable. But what they don't realize is you're not guarding a preference. You're guarding your purpose. You are not available for connections that drain your spirit, confuse your intuition, or compromise your calling. So, you've learned to be alone rather than be in the wrong company. You've learned to say no even when your heart longs to say yes, because you know that anything less than spiritually aligned love is a silent form of self-betrayal. And though your journey may feel isolating at times, your soul is simply refusing to build a home in places it was never meant to dwell. 3. You have a built-in lie detector. Truth speaks to you in silence. Your intuition picks up on energy before words are ever spoken. You can feel someone's real intentions in a handshake, in a casual comment, in a smile that doesn't quite reach their eyes. You don't need proof. You don't need evidence. You feel it instantly. This is more than just good instincts. It's a divine form of spiritual protection. It's your soul saying, "Watch this one." Not everything is as it seems. And because you've trusted that voice, even when it made no logical sense, you've avoided deeper wounds than you'll ever know. But here's the thing. People can't lie in your presence. They may try, but they'll feel exposed, uncomfortable, unmasked, because your energy doesn't. Just listen. It mirrors. And that mirror makes people uneasy. It reflects back to them the parts of themselves they try to hide. Their false motives, their concealed shadows, their unhealed pain. You don't expose them with words. You don't need to. Your very presence holds up the truth like a lighthouse revealing all that's hidden. And those who wear masks, they'll either transform or retreat. But either way, your gift is not a curse. It's your divine shield in a world full of illusion. 4. You're unapologetically authentic. You were never made to blend in. You don't wear social masks to please others. You don't shrink yourself to fit inside someone else's idea of normal. You weren't born for surface-level living. You were born to embody truth in all its raw, messy, and magnificent glory. You don't fake smiles just to avoid awkwardness. You don't nod along to conversations that have no soul. You don't pretend to care about things that don't touch your spirit. And because of that, some people will find you too intense, too serious, too different. But the truth is, they're just not used to someone being real in a world built on performance. In a society where people exchange authenticity for acceptance, your refusal to be anything other than yourself is a quiet revolution. Your authenticity causes others to drop their masks. Your truth challenges their illusions. And that kind of presence can feel like confrontation even when you say nothing at all. But never let that make you second guess as who you are. Because in a world full of echoes, your voice, your real, raw, honest voice, is a rare and sacred sound. 5. Your presence triggers inner insecurities in others. You don't even have to speak to stir something inside people. Your silence speaks volumes. Your energy is loud without being aggressive. There's something about you, the way you carry your pain with grace, the way you've turned your wounds into wisdom, the way your eyes seem to see through the soul that makes people feel seen. And for those who haven't done the inner work, being seen is terrifying. You become a mirror, not because you judge them, but because you reflect their untended wounds. The parts of themselves they buried deep begin to rise to the surface when you're around, and that triggers them. It makes them question themselves, feel exposed and uncomfortable. And instead of turning inward to grow, they often turn outward to blame, to gossip, to distance themselves from you. Understand this. It's not personal. It's spiritual. You are a lighthouse, but not everyone is ready to walk into the light. Some are still hiding in the dark, and so your very presence becomes a test. Evolve or escape, but don't dim your light to make others feel safe. Your presence may be triggering, but it's also transforming, and one day they may look back and realize you weren't the problem. You were the invitation. 6. You've been hurt too deeply too often. The world has not been kind to your heart. You've trusted people who turned away. You've loved those who didn't know how to hold love. You've shared pieces of your soul only to have them misunderstood, misused, or rejected. And after all that, you're still here, with a heart that beats with compassion, and a soul that still believes in love. That alone is a miracle. But make no mistake, you've changed. You're no longer wide open. You've learned to be discerning, to listen more than you speak, to test energy before offering intimacy. You protect your peace like a sacred temple, not because you're cold or distant, but because you've bled too many times in the wrong hands. So now your love is earned. Your trust is sacred. You don't chase, you don't force, you observe. And while that may make some people call you guarded or emotionally unavailable, what they don't see is the depth of love that still lives within you, waiting for a safe space to unfold. You are not closed off. You are sacred. And not everyone deserves the keys to your sanctuary. 7. You operate on a different frequency. You've outgrown the noise, the meaningless chatter, the distractions disguised as entertainment. You crave truth, depth, expansion. You want to talk about the soul, about healing, about the divine nature of the universe. You feel pulled toward purpose, destiny, and divine timing. These aren't concepts to you, they're your language. But when you speak that language, not everyone understands. They look at you like you're too deep, too intense, or trying too hard. They don't get that your vibration isn't an act. It's alignment. It's the natural result of waking up, doing the work, and choosing to evolve. You're not trying to sound enlightened. You're just speaking from the place you live now. And that place is higher. And because of this, you often feel alone, misunderstood, disconnected. But that's only because you're meant to resonate, not relate. You're not meant to force connections just to feel less lonely. You're meant to hold your frequency steady until those meant for you rise to meet you there. And when they do, you'll know, because the connection will feel like soul recognition, not small talk. 8. You're called to walk alone before you're called to lead. This is the truth that breaks most chosen ones. Loneliness is part of your training. You were designed to be refined in isolation, to learn discernment in silence, and to build spiritual muscle without applause. Before you lead others, you must be whole within yourself. That journey is hard. It makes your walls higher, your trust slower, your circle smaller. But it's part of the divine plan to make you unshakable before you're unmissable. If you've ever been told you're too hard to love, don't let that lie sink into your soul. The truth is you're too deep to love quickly, too love casually, and too divine to love temporarily. You were never made for the masses. You were designed for sacred alignment. This is the Alchemy of Awareness channel. If this message came to you in perfect timing, if you felt seen, heard, or even healed, type 111 in the comments as your soul's confirmation that divine clarity and blessings have entered your atmosphere. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. We're building more than an audience. We're building a movement, a space for chosen ones who are tired of shallow noise and ready for spiritual truth. You are not too much. You are not hard to love. You are a sacred mirror in a world full of masks. And one day the right souls will see you and stay. Thank you for watching.